From one of iRacing's newest tracks to a dirt sprint car staple, both in real life and virtually, we're ready to continue the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series as we head down to Kokomo. Welcome on, ladies and gentlemen, to Racecraft TV's coverage of the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series here. We're happy that you are spending your Tuesday night with us as we continue our coverage and continue the inaugural season of this campaign. I'm your host Joshua Lee, just me in the booth tonight as we get ready for all of tonight's action, and action that is going to continue only for about 4 more weeks. We have 1 week off next week, and then we continue the festivities on at Lernerville, Limaland, and Lucas Oil in a 3-race, 3-week battle for the championship. But tonight, after the World of Outlaws Car Quest Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing schedule concludes, we had the Lincoln Speedway last week. Now we go to Kokomo, which has been a staple of the iRacing service for a while now, and we take a look at exactly where we are in the world here at the Kokomo Speedway. Relatively short track. However, if you compare it to a couple of the other tracks, especially Limaland that we're going to have coming up in a couple of weeks on the campaign, it is a little bit longer, but straightaways are almost nothing. It is majority turns in this one. Very, very wide turns as well. Very, very wide racetrack, I should say, with 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe even upwards of 5 wide possible at a couple of portions on this track. No stranger to exciting action as we get ready to go racing tonight. Now, what's at stake is the points. Of course, we continue on this inaugural campaign for the championship, and right now that championship is largely undecided. Josh Edmondson's still with the lead, and he right now sits 5th in the qualifying standings at a 10.334. Fastest times getting down in the top 9s, to be fairly transparent with what we're looking at right now in qualifying. Evan McFarland, Matthew Lind still within striking distance, but Baldwin, Winkler in their own battle now for the 4th spot. Forster trying to catch up after missing a lot of rounds, and Whitner after missing a lot of rounds as well. Eric Whitner is back with us tonight, back with us last week as well. He looks to gain some more points. Same thing with Aish, Hodge, Mikolajczyk, all sitting relatively stagnant, 8th, 9th, and 10th. None of them joining us here tonight from Kokomo, so they'll continue on their stretch in the championship, 8th, 9th, and 10th as we get ready for all of tonight's action, which is set to be a very exciting one as we have 7 drivers that are ready to take to the track and get started with tonight's action. And so far on this campaign, it has been a very, very exciting run with a lot of different changes in the points. Not really at the front, but just around the mid-pack, around the middle of the top 10. And now we're seeing these names, the top 3 names, start to pull away at the front. We're seeing some drivers try and get themselves a little bit further up those points. And as we go out of the traditional tracks, I like to say out of the kind of the legacy tracks of iRacing, dirt oval racing, we move in to tracks that are very unique. Lernerville, no outside wall apart from the front straightaway. Limaland on the University of Northwestern Ohio campus, very, very short track. And one of the other newest tracks, Lucas Oil Speedway, one of the most retrofitted dirt sprint car tracks that exists now in the United States. And as we get ready to go racing, we'll take a look at your starting grid for the heat race tonight. Only one heat race as normal here for the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series, and the lineup is as follows. Dylan Baldwin, the fastest man in qualifying. He beats out Pro World Championship license Eric Whitner for that pole spot. McFarland and Lind on the 2nd row with Edmondson and Winkler on row 3. Rounding out the rest of the field, it is going to be the likes of Trevor Teal. Not exactly the fastest in qualifying, but hey, last time he joined us here on Racecraft Outlaws, he was very, very good when it came to the Racecraft. And we'll see how he is going to do here tonight as the field will roll off and get going around the very, very short Kokomo Speedway behind the official iRacing pace car, and we get ready to go racing. And hearing from these drivers right before they get onto the racetrack, seems like it's going to be a very top line dominant track, which no stranger to these 410 sprint cars are that top line, nor these drivers. So we'll see how they're all going to do on the track tonight, but 7 cars strong, getting ready to go racing. Of course, traditionally 2 pace laps around the course, and you'll notice a bit of track wear as reset was to about 15% before qualifying. Then of course the 2 laps from each of these drivers in qualifying wearing in a little bit more, and we'll see how worn in we get at the end of this heat. But Pace truck is off and we are underway for our heat race tonight. 10 laps on the horizon, which is going to go by quick. We have an estimated time of less than 2 minutes for this heat race, and Matthew Lynn caught off a little bit off guard. He goes down to 5th as Baldwin and Whitner are going to fight for the race lead. They run that outside line, and Baldwin doing a great job of it so far. Whitner going to run a little bit further up, and as he slings it out of turn 4, he is right on the back bumper for this heat race win. And as they continue to fight, closer action back in the pack. Matthew Lynn gets caught loose off of the exit of turn 2, it looked like, and Edmondson is into the wall and into the catch fence. 58 goes up and over. Lynn gets through. A little bit of contact for Sean Winkler as well. But Edmondson, points leader, caught up in an incident in the heat race. Here comes Whitner with a slider to the bottom. Baldwin with the crossover, going to keep that lead spot. And as they work their way back through 1 and 2, this is the main battle we're watching. The battle for the feature race pole position. Another slider from Whitner as Baldwin gets loose. He gets loose off the exit at 2. Falls right down to the bottom of the racetrack. He almost had a spot on Whitner again. But as he taps the wall off the exit of turn 4, Whitner going to pull away now with 3 to go, coming across the line this time to get himself a prime spot for the pole in the feature. But how about Evan McFarland? He's also not done as he tries to chase down now Dylan Baldwin for that 2nd spot. He runs the outside line. Very common use here at the Kokomo Speedway is one driver way down to the inside. That's Trevor Teal letting the group go by. As Evan McFarland runs the wall, same with Baldwin, same with Whitner. White flag out this time, 1 to go for that 17. Not going to be enough for Dylan Baldwin to try and come back and get this heat race win. It's going to be all the 17 of Eric Whitner going to walk away with your feature or heat race win tonight, and is going to advance himself into the feature and to start on pole for said feature. Not too shabby by the Pro World Championship driver Eric Whitner. As we get ready to take a look at your finishing results for that heat. Issues for Josh Edmondson. We saw that out of the number 58. Hits the outside wall coming out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway, goes up and into the catch fence, and unfortunately that's about all she wrote for that heat race for the number 58. But Teal also running into a bit of issues, just slow on the racetrack. He let the leaders go by, no issue there. Sean Winkler also running into a bit of issues. He went 1 lap down, but look at how close those top 3 were. Whitner, Baldwin, McFarland, all within 2 seconds out of that heat. Same with Matthew Lynn, who, yes, was 5 seconds behind the pack, but how about that run from him to be in 4th? And after we saw him have a little bit of issues on the racetrack, did end up with a fairly good spot coming out of that heat, and will start 4th in our feature tonight as the field works their way around the virtual Kokomo Speedway, finishing up our warm-up period, which as of right now has got about 1:15 remaining on the clock. Interesting to see how this feature race is going to go, because we saw Edmondson have the issues that he had, and that forced him to go all the way back to 7th to start this feature. Evan McFarland only needs 22 points. Every position is going to be 2 points. So he's not going to be able to gain all those points back, but if Evan McFarland gets a really good finish here, Edmondson can't get out of the traffic, stays in the back, we could be looking at possibly a closer fight to the championship with 3 rounds to go when we begin towards the end of the month of February. Matthew Lynn still looking for more points to gain as well. He's got a good opportunity to do that. Same with Baldwin, same with Winkler, and then go down to Eric Whitner. He needs to gain a good amount of points on Forster, but with Forster not showing up tonight, he's already going to gain back a good bit of points and will be very, very close, if not already hopping over the 6th spot to get the 71, back closer to the top 5 as we get ready to go racing from Kokomo for a exciting feature race. I think is really all I can take away from where we were when we started the heat to now. Warm-up period is over. We're getting ready for what could be a very short feature, or it could be one of the most exciting ones, or both, as we get ready to go racing here tonight from iRacing's virtual Kokomo Speedway. Fastest in the heat race, it will be Eric Whitner starting on the pole, Dylan Baldwin in 2nd place, Evan McFarland, Matthew Lynn going to be 3rd and 4th, with Sean Winkler and Trevor Teal 5th and 6th on the starting grid. Josh Edmondson with issues. We saw him careening into the catch fence when he began that heat race. He will start in 7th. We know that's not where Edmondson wants to start, but what matters is where is he going to finish? And we know he is very great at working his way up through the field and gaining back positions when he needs to. And I think tonight he really is going to need to, with McFarlane, his closest championship rival. McFarlane's sitting second in those points right now, starting right behind him, or in front of him in that third spot. As there's McFarlane on the grid, and we get ready to roll off. Once again, traditional feature race here tonight for the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series. 35 laps on the docket for the evening, and we did not have cautions in that heat race. We will have cautions here in the feature. However, caution laps will not count. The lap count will be frozen when we go into these caution periods, if we have any of them tonight. And we're going to see how long this feature takes. Right now, we're looking at under 6 minutes for this feature. Fastest laps all night have been in the middle 9-second range. This track is fast. These drivers are fast, and we're going to see what they can do racing from Kokomo, Indiana. Whitner and Baldwin on the front row as we get ready to go racing for the 11th feature race of the season for the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series. Pace truck is off and away. We're on the loud pedal. Let's go racing, and Whitner already going to send Dylan Baldwin into the outside wall. That was a close one as Whitner tried to clear himself off the start. Baldwin was not having much of that as Edmondson looks down to the inside trying to gain spots early, but up in the front of the pack, here comes Baldwin. Not sure he's going to be happy with that move off the start from the 17 of Whitner. Now he's trying to chase him down. What is he going to be able to do as they work their way back through 1 and 2? Up on the wall, both of them are, but Baldwin going to get the short end of the stick there as he got to rode the outside of the wall through 1 and 2. He's going to fall back a little bit now to the tail end of the 17. Closer battle towards the back. It's Winkler and Teal trying to really hold on for dear life in these 410s. Both of them have spoken about their lack of experience as caution flag is out, and that's going to be Dylan Baldwin, and Winkler going to get a piece of that in the tail end. And the caution flag is going to fly for the first time tonight. And what happened here to looks like Dylan Baldwin, and we'll see if it was exactly around him. Yes, it was. We'll go back a little bit more to get a better look at that. But oh, Matthew Lynn barely avoiding that. Sean Winkler unfortunately gets a piece. Here's what happened. We'll have to go back a little bit more to find out exactly what. But through 1 and 2. Rides the outside wall just fine there. There's an opening right there, and it looked like it spit the car out into the opening, and in the reaction to get it back onto the track, he ended up getting loose and going around. Lynn barely gets by Winkler with a piece of it, and that will bring us under the yellow flag for the first time this evening on lap number 4. And how about just as quickly as we went under the yellow flag, we're about to come out of it as the lights are off on the iRacing pace truck and we get ready to go racing. Baldwin will rejoin the racing surface, but he'll be back in 7th place. He did not go a lap down during this caution period. He will stay on the lead lap with the rest of your leaders. Whitner, McFarlane, Lynn, the top 3. Back to green flag action here from Kokomo as they race their way through 1 and 2. On the outside wall again goes McFarlane. They're trying to find that wall as McFarlane goes up and over. A harsh flip there from the 04 as we are already back under the yellow flag. The 04 McFarlane with a wild and violent crash. We go back a little bit further. Let's see what happened here to the 04 McFarlane. He was riding the outside wall, which is really needed with that cushion, and got too far up it. And that was a nasty roll. Luckily, virtually not in real life. But the 04 of McFarlane goes for a bit of an aggressive ride there, as it'll be Whitner and Lind still in the top 2. But look at who's back to 3rd. The 58 of Edmondson. With after that flip for McFarlane, pushing him back to 7th. Right now, the 58 is looking at getting a lot of points over that 04 of McFarlane. Pace truck gonna pull back into the safety of the pit lane. We've only completed about 3 full laps under the green flag. We'll go back to racing to lap 6 of 35 here in the feature. Whitner's on the lap pedal. We're back underway as the battle for second is going to rage on quicker than the battle for the lead as Edmondson looks to the middle. That hasn't been a good line so far tonight. Really, it's been outside outside domination. As you can see by the 17 of Whitner running right up on that cushion, just barely grazing that outside wall. Lynn trying to do the same thing, but that is what's giving these drivers that speed to sling themselves around this Kokomo Speedway. Edmondson now going to cave. He has to run the cushion if he wants to try and keep up with these leaders. Can anybody go down to the inside to make any passes? It's really going to be if that outside line slicks over. You're already starting to see it a little bit there in turn 2 as Whitner trying to get right up on that cushion, get that left rear tire, or right rear tire, I should say, right on that built up dirt that's right on the tail edge of the wall and ride it all the way around the Kokomo Speedway. And that's exactly what he's doing, and that's exactly what is working for him. And he's able to gain back a lot of time as Trevor Teal is going to lose the spot to Dylan Baldwin. McFarland pulls it into the pit lane again. Winkler now going to lose the spot to Baldwin. Baldwin looks high, and Winkler unfortunately going to push him up there. Possibly not quite exactly knowing where Baldwin is going to go or wanting to go. Baldwin now looks to the inside. Move made off of turn number 2. So with the Baldwin machine back up to P4. Gap for the lead up to 3 seconds now is Matthew Lynn trying to, I don't want to say recover, but it hasn't been the best of campaigns for him so far. And how about this run? In second place right now above points leader Josh Edmondson in the 58 as the 58 of Edmondson tries to gain back some time as we look on board with this number 58 through 1 and 2. And you can see just how far the 71 of Whitner has gotten, 4.2 seconds. That gap for the race lead is Whitner in a zip code of his own, probably closer to Indianapolis from Kokomo at this point, as Winkler now going to be the next driver to go 1 lap down. Teal has gone 2 down as he enters the pit lane for some damage repair. Winkler goes 1 down, leaves 4 drivers on the lead lap, and Dylan Baldwin, a very, very quick driver who just works his way into turn 3. You can see Whitner now just making his way into turn 3. Could possibly be reaching some issues there with the lap machine as Edmondson loses a spot to Dylan Baldwin. I think Edmondson either might have caught the outside wall or might have just tried to go back to the low side, which has not been the favored line so far, and just lost momentum. And Baldwin around the outside gets that spot back. Whitner pulling away at this rate is not going to adjust our battle for the lead, because unless we get another yellow flag, nobody, to be fair, is catching Whitner. But where Baldwin is now, 2.7 seconds behind Lind. He might only have 2.5 minutes to do it as Lind rides the outside wall in 3 and 4. We could see Baldwin passing for second, but look who's right in the tire tracks. Edmondson in the 58 who goes low again. He's trying to find any different way to get around this Kokomo Speedway because he needs to try and make those moves to make it work. But unfortunately, he's going to go a lap down now as on the outside. How about Eric Whitner? Best lap this race at 10.468, qualified on the pole with a lap time in the mid-9s. And he's looking to walk away with another walk-off feature race victory and put all but himself and Lind 1 lap down. As we have 10 to go this time across the start-finish line. Whitner following in the tire tracks of Baldwin from 3rd. You can see Lind even up there in 2nd. Whitner has an opportunity to put every single driver in this race either 1 lap down or more, and flipping goes Lind, and the caution flag comes back out. Another harsh flip at that to bring us back under the yellow flag. What happened to Lind? Through 1 and 2, tries to run the cushion. Does he get too far up? Wondering what happened and where exactly. There it is, off the exit of 4. Same thing that happened to Edmondson in the heat race. Off of 4, hits the outside wall. It sucks him up into the catch fence. And that's all it wrote for Lind in a wild flip on the front straightaway that is going to end Lind's chances of a decent finish. And now is going to promote Whitner back to the lead. And I believe Baldwin, yes, he will get to get his lap back. And I believe Lind is going to be the same way, even with that ton of damage he's got. Eight laps to go, this time by the start-finish line. or 8 laps to go when they take the green flag. Caution laps not counting here. Pace truck pulls back off. Baldwin now with an opportunity to try and get by Whitner. This is exactly how we started this feature, and it looks like it's going to be exactly how we finish it. As the green flag is back out, Baldwin to the inside, looks for the spot on Whitner, can't do it. Whitner going to hold the lead as they go to 8 laps to go, 7 to go this time by the stripe. Through turns 3 and 4, Edmondson looks down to the inside. He is 1 lap down, not racing Lind. Lind falls back, and Lind is going spinning with the aerodynamic damage. He gets it back going, no caution. Whitner 6 to go at the line. He's going to hold that lead spot. Baldwin trying to catch up is not quick enough. He tries to run the cushion like Whitner, gets too far up, slams the outside wall. 1 second now going to separate the top 2. 5 laps to go, this time by the start finish. Setting up to be another amazing finish for Eric Whitner in the 17. Missed out on a good bit of rounds and was honest with us. He was experiencing a little bit of burnout in these 410 sprint cars. Easy to do, competing at the top level in the World of Outlaws Car Quest Sprint Car Series powered by iRacing as Lind gets out of the way for race leader Whitner down on the inside. But he was honest about his burnout, not really wanting to race these things, but then getting into a league and running with friends, running for the fun of sim racing, has really breathed a little bit more life into these cars and into the service for Eric Whitner. White flag is going to come out. 1 final lap as he rounds turns 3 and 4. It'll be 2 feature races in a row for Eric Whitner. The 17 is back to victory lane. Another fantastic feature race, both run and win for the 17 of Eric Whitner. And I think if he didn't miss those rounds right in the middle of the season, we'd be talking to our potential champion. But the battle for the points is so much deeper. Whitner victorious from virtual Kokomo with Baldwin, Edmondson 2nd and 3rd, Lind, Winkler, Teal, and McFarland rounding out the 7 drivers. And unfortunately Teal running into issues, same with McFarland. We saw the McFarland's issues. Not sure exactly what happened to Trevor Teal. We'll see if we can find out. And all I got from him was the exact quote, "I'm bad." So not sure exactly what happened to him, but he will finish at least 1 spot up in 6th places. We continue now into the post-race show and get ready to talk to your winner, Eric Whitner, and another fantastic feature race run from him. And what I have to think is just really having more fun with these cars now. We heard it from him after his win in Lincoln, and I'm thinking we're going to hear a lot of the same sentiment here tonight as we'll talk to your entire top 3. But first, it'll be with Eric Whitner in the 17. And Eric, welcome back to the Racecraft TV booth. And you talked about how much burnout you've had with these cars in the past. Now 2 feature race wins in a row in Racecraft Outlaws. Got to feel pretty good getting back into the saddle and getting some results under your belt after missing so much.
I came out tonight to just like run laps and stuff and enjoy it. I haven't run very many 410 Kokomo races. Just really challenged myself and tried to learn something tonight.
And you got to the point where it looked like you were going to lap all but yourself out there on the track. So what is it about Kokomo that you kind of grew to pretty quick? I mean, I saw you running the cushion on the outside. Was it just your confidence in your setup, your car, running the cushion that you were able to get, I think, in the mid-9s in the qualifying session?
Yeah, man. I got to thank Speed Shop 51, Clay and Tilly, Momentum Sim Sport for that. They gave me awesome sets all throughout Pro and even now for officials and stuff. Just it's a weird shaped wall, just like Lincoln. I liked Lincoln a lot running the top and threw in my Lincoln sets and kind of just ripped her down and just, I don't know, kind of vibed with it.
Moving forward, of course, we have Lernerville up next. And what about that track really speaks to you? Is it one you've put in a lot of laps in, or is it one that you just kind of really haven't touched in these 410s like Kokomo was?
It's about the same as this. I know how to run it. I ran more laps there in a 410 than a Kokomo. I tend to try and make the bottom work around there just because that's kind of the fun to me. but I'm not sure. I might challenge myself, go up top, see if I can run the top there.
Congratulations on another feature race win here tonight, Eric. Go celebrate with the Speed Shop 51, guys. Congrats.
Thanks.
Great to hear from Eric Whitner. Another victorious night for him as we went racing here from virtual Kokomo. Second place finish for Dylan Baldwin. And Dylan, it was really an uphill battle for you. It felt like in that race. We saw you up front, then you fell towards the back and had to rally your way through. And with a series of cautions, you were able to get back there. How was that race from your perspective?
Well, I feel like I had a pretty good starting spot, and just kind of unfortunate start. I kind of held it down. He drifted up. It was just kind of a racing deal. I mean, it's what it is, and when you can't communicate very well when you're racing, it's just hard to judge that because he can't see out of his right side. I can't really see how he's moving in the left side, but yeah, I got third there with quite a bit of left front damage. I tried to repair it in a caution, but it was going to take 5 minutes of optional repairs. It wasn't going to be worth it to fall back every time the cautions. And sadly, my teammate Matthew flipped, but that did help me get back up to second and finish second, which sucks for him, but helped me. So I guess yeah.
Where was your confidence level coming into tonight? Because this seems like a track, at least from the outside perspective, that kind of requires a lot of confidence. You have to run up on the cushion, you have to run the wall, and we saw a lot of you drivers getting a little bit too far up that cushion and just kind of riding the concrete around these turns. Just coming into tonight, were you confident that you'd be faster? Or was it kind of something that you had to figure out as you raced your way through?
I'm always trying to be confident, but I really wasn't today because I cannot run the top of Kokomo very well, and then today I guess something clicked and I was able to put it right up on the wall better than I ever have before. And it's also promising for real life because I'm gonna run a 305 here sometimes next in this year in real life, so that also boosts my confidence there too.
Moving forward to Lernerville now in 2 weeks time, off next week. Is your confidence level about the same going into Lernerville as Kokomo? We heard it was about the same for Eric Whitner. What say you?
Yeah, all I gotta say is I'm probably gonna fly off the edge, but that's okay. Just don't bother showing me because it's just the way. Yeah.
We'll try and keep the cameras off you when you're going through the turns and the back straightaway. How about that?
Yeah. Don't embarrass me.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish, Dylan. We hope to see you at Lernerville. Congrats again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great to hear from Dylan Baldwin again in the number 67, second place for him. And what I think was even more of an uphill battle for Baldwin was for Josh Edmondson in the 58, who you ran into a lot of issues tonight, Josh, and we saw them really starting in the heat with that flip. You started dead last in the feature race, and then you kind of just slowly climbed your way through with all the cautions. Just what was the main struggle point for you tonight on this track?
That's pretty much the whole track. Yeah, I just was struggling. I probably should have practiced more than just the bit of practice in the race session before. It was interesting. I obviously in the heat race couldn't run the wall very well and flipped it. So in the feature, I was just trying to stay safe the whole time. I knew other guys were going to crash, and it's pretty much what led me to this. I got lucky when they all crashed.
And now, of course, through that feature race, just with the caution laps not counting, you're just kind of chugging your way up with the points on the line as well. You're still going to gain back a little bit more on McFarland, extend that points gap, of course, with all the issues the 04 had. But now, with just a handful of rounds left, what can you do with Lernerville, Limaland, and Lucas Oil to walk away with this championship?
Sounds like just be smart. Just do what I've been doing, is trying not to wreck in the feature, try and keep the car clean and running decent laps, whatever that is. Obviously, I'm off the pace of Eric. And Dylan was running the wall really well tonight too. So kudos to those guys because that's really tough.
Hope to hear from you on the podium again at Lernerville in 2 weeks' time. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Great to hear from Edmondson. Of course, always very quick in that number 58, and that will wrap us up for coverage here from the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series from iRacing's virtual Kokomo, Indiana. But this track, while it was short and it was fast, we go to another fast racetrack with a very, very unique design. Lernerville Speedway on February the 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're off next week on Valentine's Day. We come back the week after with a wall only on the front straightaway and a daring edge through 1, 2, the back straightaway in 3 and 4. I don't think you're going to want to miss when these drivers go head to head in the feature race at Lernerville Speedway. That's all coming up February the 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern time right here on Racecraft TV. For everybody at Racecraft TV and for myself, Joshua Lee, we thank you for tuning in tonight to the Racecraft Outlaws Sprint Car Series. 3 rounds remain. Who's gonna be your inaugural champion? Find out as we go racing in the last 3 rounds of the championship. For now, we're saying good night from virtual Kokomo.